Alright, well, this place looks familiar. It should. We are back with another episode of the Time Loop, and this time we are back at Catalunya. And, for plot reference, the reason we're back here again, Numbuh 1, which is who we're playing as you can see here. Numbuh 1 has arrived in Barcelona, or at Catalunya, or whatever, however you want to refer to it as. I usually say Spain, actually, because of Formula 1, but otherwise I'll call it Barcelona. Yeah, just arrived here, and arrived promptly in time to, well, the day after the last time we were here. Oh, rather, night. Anywho. And Gearhead, using his robotic detection sensors, determines that this is a familiar character. Why am I looking at the driving line a bit? Already. So, he informs Numbuh 1 of Bubbles' condition as he is still housing her here at Catalunya. And Gearhead's analysis basically comes to still not good, but probably not fatal. As he says in a very snarky voice of probably not fatal, almost insinuating like, yeah, obviously not, she's invulnerable. Or more rather, it shouldn't be if she's supposed to be invulnerable. I dropped my remote. And, well, unfortunately, despite knowing Bubbles, definitely knowing who Bubbles is, Numbuh 1 doesn't really exactly have a way of alerting her sisters. The only ones that would have any kind of such a device would be another Powerpuff Girl. They have little wrist computers, which is ironic considering that they don't really have wrists. Actually, why did I just say that? Yeah, they do. It's Fusion 12 versions. They have normal arms now. Okay, so yeah, they have wristwatches that have computers built into them. Kind of like an Apple Watch, but it existed in 2009. And actually in 2003, because the girls did have one in Relish Rampage, which was their PS2 game, in which they did not have wrists, so it didn't make as much sense. But here it does have little wristwatches that they can use to communicate, but they haven't really been working. Been on emergency standby, where all they are good for is for like 5 minutes of battery. And if the girls, well, actually, neither one of the other two actually know where they are, since Blossom's never been to Daytona, Buttercup's never been to Long Beach, technically. Her voice actress has, but she hasn't. They can communicate, oh yeah, I'm in California. And Bubbles, despite knowing where this was too emotionally distraught to communicate, oh hey, I've ended up in Spain. You know, this track we've raced at like 15 times. Of course, there's a race, and Numbuh 1 has decided that he must take part in it. Just in case, but Gearhead says, you know, you can't do this alone. I cannot join you because I am too busy taking care of her. But receive assistance from Swoopy Doo down here, although he's starting in 15th. So I don't know how much help he can be down there. But also, Gearhead's sensors picked up another familiar character. Remember Vanellope from, well, like act like what, 18 and 19, 18 and or 19, and I think she was in the final one. Yeah, she's somehow appeared as well. Very late appearance as well, because she knows the track, but barely. And she is starting here in 7th, just behind Numbuh 1 in the number 33 BMW. Not to be confused with this Porsche down here. However, the number of that car was taken, otherwise I actually would have given her that. So we begin the race. after like a 10 minutes of me explaining things, and the Aston Martins and BMWs are clearly in full force tonight. That's not the breaking point, me. I was too busy watching other cars and not the road. That's classic me right there. It worked. It shouldn't have, but it worked. Of course, no more reason I'd be completely penalized for that, but not here. So actually, technically, this is second time recording this episode 18 specifically. However, I have since changed race courses. Mainly because I had an idea partway through the previous attempt, and also because I was in dead last because the car wouldn't turn. It was kind of different though from how that usually goes. It wasn't actually spinning out. It was actually just so much slower than the opponents that I was losing places and couldn't do anything to stop it. What are these braking points, me? Gee whiz, I'm not driving an F1 car here. I don't have those super brakes. I have to stop a little earlier than that. Now the car is still not turning super great. Better than it was before. I think that part does come down to I know this track better than the one that I was originally going to be on. And it helps too, this this event actually has worked out better for the plot. Even though we're using Barcelona again, for now the third time in this series if you want to be technical about it. But at the same time, it's a comfort race because it's a nice comfort track because the league race that I mentioned in the So Fast episode, it actually didn't go terrible at first, but I ran out of fuel on the last lap because the game's UI said, oh, you have enough fuel to reach the end, and then on the last lap of the race, the fuel indicator blinked in my face, and I ran out of fuel with like probably 4 or 5 corners to go from second place. Because I just used the default setup rather than the one that I had saved for the car. Unfortunately, my car isn't as good looking as So Fast's, but we stuck with it for a while. Am I Southern now? Am I Owen Wilson? Wow. No. Strange for some reason the sky is not changing. Totally isn't because I forgot to turn time progression on. But the way this does play out in the plot is actually really convenient, so I'm not going to squander that. We'll just say it's something like, I don't actually know. I can't BS mode this one, I just straight up forgot to turn it on. Looks nice though. You can see it on like 6 o'clock. You're just hoping that the weather is actually, I'd rather it not be randomized. I can't be asked to deal with a wet race or a rain race today. One problem with Barcelona is after driving on it for long enough, I really started to get a rhythm going because this is definitely one of the more flowing tracks in the world in the universe. I mean, not really wrong, an incorrect statement, but just kind of an overkill statement, if you will. Really remember the names of the opponents so I can see, look on, or like pause the game and see their name. And see if any of them have massively improved their position. Penelope stayed where she started. No, actually, she gained 2 places, didn't she? She started behind me, and I think I started 5th, so yeah, she's actually gained places too. Where's, Swoopy Doo? He has not gained anything. I also don't think that's his number either, but generally speaking, I've actually done this a couple of times where it's not actually been their car number. It's been, like, Gearhead has appeared many times, but it's actually been the 85 car, not the 86, which is actually his number. But since the car is like identical minus the color of their wing, well, it's hard enough to notice why I didn't bother. A couple of exceptions to this being Mojo Jojo's car, where half of the car is actually orange and even. It's noticeable because it's supposed to be white instead of orange, and that's a pretty big difference. And another example being at Fuji, well, it still was them anyway, I had to keep checking to make sure that the car was the number 23 for Samurai Jack. Even though the 23 and 35 look exactly the same. Yeah. Probably time to record at 2 in the morning. I'm the only person in the house. Mom is a considerably heavy sleeper. Not really. I got that backwards. She's not a heavy sleeper. She is the opposite of that. It's gonna have this classic case. There's one car that's like, well, I'm gonna get him, and then everyone else is in a previous location. I think I left the other 14 cars back in Italy. Why did I say Italy? I don't know. I don't know which country in this game is closest to Spain, but I don't think it's that one. Probably gonna map after the race. Because now I'm curious, but I'm not going to pause the recording to find out which countries are close to Spain. I want to say Italy, but I also am thinking like Portugal. And there is a Portuguese track, but I absolutely hate that track. I might use it. Only gonna use it once. It's just boring. It's in general shape, not all that different from Spain here, or from Catalunya, but in the way that it handles, it's literally just a stop-start festival. Long straightaway, tight corner. Long straightaway, tight corner. There's nothing like high speed about it. There's plenty of medium speed turns, which is exactly what I like around this track. There's like this one where it takes steady throttle input, but it's high speed, and then it's like 130, which is abnormally high. Medium speed, fast when it's low speed, but there's still a flow to this track. There's no abrupt stopping. At least for the first two sectors. Third sector has chicane, but as you've seen, that chicane isn't always even there anyway. It's just required in this game. I think about the version to this corner, where that corner is less sharp. I would still prefer if we used the, or if the track used the MotoGP layout that's on Assetto Corsa, but still one of the best tracks in my mind, no, nonetheless. Suzuka, not that off-brand that's in the game, the actual Suzuka that you'd find in literally any other racing game, even really obscure ones. As long as they're made in Japan anyway. Every single lap time I have run, minus the first lap, has been a 1 minute 48 lap. What is this? Me consistent in this game? Blasphemy. Can we just point out that the name of the opponent driver in 4th place is Rod Chong? There's some weird names in this game. I don't really ever point them out because you haven't run into them yet. So they're not there to be pointed out, but believe me, they exist. My tires getting heated, apparently. Spend a lot of time steering, so rare occurrence where it's not the track heat doing that, it's just the track design, because the track temperature is like 60 degrees. 59, yeah. It's not much warmer than the air temperature. Just 52. Just a matter of abrasive surface plus steering, specifically to the right a lot. Kind of like this. And this. And this. And also, like this. So yeah, a lot of right-hand turns. And they're very long right-hand turns like the ones here. It will make the upper left tire a little hot. Just from all the friction being pushed on it, or pushing on it. I'm not putting the friction there. The car is. This one's a nightmare for it, I imagine. Okay, so Penelope's name is James, and I think, oh, yeah, Swoopy Doo's gained spots too. He started 15th, and he's now in 13th. Unlucky 13th. So Gearhead apparently found some good allies here, because while they're not going as crazy as number 1 is, they're still putting in some work. My sole mission wasn't to win this race. I would probably, I'd almost be tempted to help Penelope reach, like, a top 3 spot or so. Good braking, me. Don't use that board. When am I gonna figure that out? I just realized, I think this car is sponsored by Fox. Like, the TV company. Same font as the TV company on the car there. I'm actually gonna check that, is it? Oh, I can't controls. Classic Slim. Okay, no it isn't. It just looks like the same font. Finally escaped the guy in second a little. Maybe parts of Bubbles' car are still there. Nope. Okay, let's break before the meter board. One thing that's kind of funny is I have like a written schedule for the first X number of races in this series, but after race 10, I kind of started ignoring that. Like, this wasn't ever scheduled to happen. The last one that was scheduled was I did do Bedlam at the Nürburgring Grand Prix course, which did happen. It was in the schedule, but it was actually like Greaselight and Imola, never planned. Tyler is his real name. Me and Maestro are pretty kind of fucking used during the race. I think it was the Duke of Bristol. He has like 4 accounts for many different reasons across them. But my co-commentator from the Watkins Glen race, that was planned. It wasn't actually a plan for Bubbles to race here either. Oh, there's a 47. It took 10 laps. It took 9 laps. Should be coming. That should be now starting with 4 to go, I believe. And then 4 to go on this lap. There's too much throttle input there. Kinda can't go full throttle through here. Number 2 was the weird shadows there. Gearbox was very confused there. Okay, that was me. I tried to put in first gear like an idiot. Probably should have just straight up spun for that, but I didn't. Let's see, will this be another minute 48? Will it dip low into the 47s again? I don't think so, because this lap was kind of bad. No, gee. Look at this, 2 different laps. 148.999 or 149.01. Which one is it, game? I'm going for stances only, and the one on top said 48.999, so I'm going to go with that. Think how this car hits that curb and just doesn't care. Really, realistically, the Ferrari is actually really broken online. Like, this is like the best GT3 car in the game. Mercedes is second, and the Porsche 911 would be third. But this thing is honestly first, like, distantly. That was a better lap. Oh, there it said identical lap times. Sure. And also, the Aston Martin, ironically the car that's in second behind me, is distantly the worst one in the game.
Hi.
I forgot I was in a party.
Huh?
I forgot I was in a party. I'm recording right now.
Oh god. Hi.
So, unexpected co-commentator, I guess.
Oh.
If you want to stick around, I don't think the other guy won't. I don't think it'll matter too much. I'm almost done here. I got one lap of Barcelona to do.
That sounds awesome. I'm gonna go drift a Maserati.
In Drive Club or Gran Turismo?
It is a Gran Turismo, but it's a... but it's in Drive Club.
Awkward. I heard of Maseratis in project cars. Honestly, unless they were the MC12, I wouldn't really care if there was one anyway. I really liked many of the Maseratis. There's a Maserati in 2 or 3 actually in Assetto Corsa.
So were you like recording one of your things?
Yeah.
Boop. I'll just be quiet then.
Maybe I'll do like what I did when Tyler co-commentated before. Say this is a voice in the character's head. Are you Paradox? Actually, it'd be Carbon, since your whole thing is black stallions. Unfortunately, Paradox does not drive a Ferrari, which is the closest I can get you to a Mustang.
Yeah, it's a horse.
Nah. Ironically, I'm actually driving a Ferrari. I get the 488. Gran Turismo peasants get the 458. Let me run off the track. Good job, me. Yeah. And there's the end of the race. 25 minutes felt like 45 because I just crushed the opponents. Well, crushed. I can see second place in my rear view, but they never actually challenged me. AI and Project Cars kind of almost do like, at least the guy in second will basically do rubber banding akin to like actually never played Road Race. But basically what they did in that game is the rubber band to directly behind you, but unless you made an error, they would never actually be able to pass you.
Ah, that sounds handy, as opposed to like Need for Speed Underground.
I've seen Most Wanted rubber banding sometimes.
Well, it's same era, so yeah, same level of bullshit.
I haven't seen it nearly as bad in Underground, but I've seen some streams of Most Wanted where really good players are playing through like the Blacklist ones, and I think it was one time where the SLR McLaren like are branded so bad they just jumped straight out of the map boundaries. Oh, that's a curb. Alright, well, surprises aside, that is the end of this episode of the Time Loop. Obviously, this is where you normally announce what happened, what we're going to be doing next time, but I don't think anyone needs to know that, because I don't know that. Well, I do, but I pretend not to.